Members of the Catholic Women Association CWA currently in their 10th Congress taking place here in Buea. A pontifical high mass to open this Congress was presided at today by His Lordship Michael Bibi. As schools look forward for proper preparations ahead of next academic year, the Catholic Education Secretariat of Buea Diocese continue engaging its staff to ensure good enrollment and performance. Some students of the University of Buea and other private higher institutions in Buea have been trained on identifying stereotypes in interfaith communications and addressing them. This in a workshop by Defy Hate Now and Civic Watch. And in press conference today, the CEO of the Environment and Rural Development Foundation, ERUDEF, has unveiled the roadmap of the organization as it prepares to celebrate its 25th anniversary. Those were our top stories. The news and details right ahead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for joining us on Friday's edition of Divine Mercy Prime, this 26th day of July 2024. I am Sama Eileen for presentation. Now, members of the Catholic Women Association had a great time this day in the presence of the Lord as they gathered for their 10th Congress Mass at the Regina Pacis Cathedral in Small Support. The women expressed their joy in being able to blend with one another regardless of language and the opportunity to network in God's vineyard. Details with Jamilato Tongtang, who was there today.
It was all joy and celebration as the CWA women gathered at the Regina Pacis Cathedral at Small Support for their Congress Mass this day, July 26, 2024.
Today in the Mass, I really felt uplifted. The homily was so touching. The main thing I got there was to know about my faith. It's not all about just coming around that Mama Maria, but uplifting your faith is the most important thing, and I was so happy.
Seigneur Bibi, depuis tout à l'heure, ils sont aux petits soins avec tous les frères. Vraiment, ça a été bien préparé et nous-mêmes les mamans, nous nous sentons à l'aise.
While many left with an uplifted spirit from the teaching of the day, others enjoyed the mixed blend of songs in the English, French, and other languages, which was an amazing opportunity to make new friends as they sang and danced together.
Really enjoyed the Mass, the way the Mass was sung in French, English, in all our different dialects. We were very happy.
I'm very happy to attend this Congress. The Mass today was very good. The Bishop preached for us how to be a mother of the church, how to change our life, and I was very happy.
The Mass that brought together over 600 mothers of the church was preceded by the Bishop of Buea, His Lordship Bishop Michael Bibi.
During that Mass, the Bishop of Buea, His Lordship Michael Bibi, called on the women to render thanks to God for His blessings, guidance, and protection. He equally called on them to choose leaders in their ongoing Congress who are readily available to serve and to uphold the spirit of sacrifice in the association. Get the details of this with Reverend Father Martin J.
Gathering at the Queen of Peace Cathedral, a small support in the Diocese of Buea for the Pontifical High Mass marking the opening of the National Congress of the Catholic Women Association. The prelate and minister of the Word and Sacraments, His Lordship Michael Bibi, Bishop of Buea, delivered the homily situating this ongoing National Congress in the context of the 75th anniversary celebration of the existence of the Diocese of Buea. Gratitude was inevitable in the words uttered by the prelate. He called on the entire faithful of the Catholic Women Association to utilize this opportunity to render thanks to God for His blessings, guidance, and protection granted to this association so far. Underscoring the irreplaceable role of the Catholic Women Association as an apostolate, he highlighted that it has done much to the strength and faith of the Catholic women in Cameroon and the diaspora. Citing the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 863, he gave a clear definition of what an apostolate is, thus likening it to the Catholic Women Association.
My dear mothers, your Congress is taking place within the context of the 75th anniversary celebration of the Diocese of Buea. I would like us to use this opening Mass as an opportunity to thank God for all the blessings, all the guidance, and the protection that He has given to this apostolate for the last 60 years. The Catholic Women Association, as an apostolate, has done a lot in strengthening the faith of the Cameroon Catholic women in our country and in the diaspora. According to the teachings of the Church, brought out in the Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 863, an apostolate is every activity of the mystical body of Christ that aims at spreading the kingdom of Christ all over the world.
He called on the members of the Catholic Women Association to live out their distinct identity and mission of the laity, to celebrate the many ways in which they have faithfully responded to their mission, and to ponder on the guidance of the Holy Spirit in responding to that mission. Names have meaning, the prelate noted, with great significance. Providentially, today is celebrated as the memorial of the parents of the Blessed Virgin Mary, Joachim and Anna, models of Christian piety and faith. Anna meaning grace and Joachim meaning Yahweh, the prelate noted. They were good examples of faith to the Blessed Virgin Mary, whose womb harbored Jesus Christ, the Son of God. The bishop accurately connected the exemplary role of Mama Anna Foncha, who was inspired alongside many others to start the Catholic Women Association, with the saintly presence of Saint Anne and Joachim. To the members of the Catholic Women Association, the prelate underscored the point that God has blessed them, that God will still continue to bless them as they continue to offer the necessary sacrifices necessary for the growth of this association.
We must work diligently to foster the mission and piety of the Catholic Women Association. We have been chosen, as God indicates to Jeremiah in the first reading, to be shepherds after the heart of God. This Congress, therefore, is an opportunity to carve out methods of providing good leadership for the entire Catholic Women Association. Let us take out time to prayerfully choose leaders who act after the heart of God and foster the growth and holiness of the Catholic Women Association wherever they are found.
As the members of the Catholic Women Association continue with their National Congress, the bishop called on all the members to be exemplary and to choose leaders who will lead them in the spirit of service as their motto unfolds, to serve and not to be served.
The mothers of the church also had the opportunity to have amidst them the Metropolitan Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Andrew Nkea. The prelate called on the women to take seriously the Angelus, as it is one of the main tools used for peace or towards peace restoration in our nation and the world at large. Jamila to Tang once again.
CWA women were called up by the Metropolitan Archbishop of Bamenda, His Grace Andrew Nkea, to take seriously the Angelus as it's one of the major solutions towards peace building, as it's very much needed in this time and season. This was during day 2 of their Congress that took place in Bishop Rogan Minor Seminary in Small Support.
The thing we emphasized is the prayer, especially the prayer of the Rosary, that Our Lady of Fatima came in 1917 and told us that only the prayer of the Rosary can help restore world peace. And therefore, we have restated that we should go back to the Rosary, pray the Rosary daily, knowing fully well that praying the Rosary daily, according to the words of Our Lady, peace will come back to our world.
Some of the women in response welcomed the word with great satisfaction and repentance as they plead guilty but promised to step up their responsibilities towards maintaining a consistent prayer life.
The aspect of praying the Angelus, I am a director in my ministry. I'm a director of persons with disabilities and the elderly in the Ministry of Social Affairs, Yaoundé. I have about 27 collaborators and about 15 of them are Catholics. So I have taken a resolution from what the Archbishop has said about praying the Angelus every midday. I have a big office and a conference room. During every midday now, I'll invite my Catholic collaborators. I have 2 sub-directors who are Catholics. I have 5 service heads who are Catholics. I have about 7 support staff who are Catholics. I'll bring them now in my office. Every midday, we pray the Angelus.
His reminder today has really touched me, and I know that so many things happen positively when I pray the Rosary. And from henceforth, I remind myself the Rosary is a powerful weapon, as Mary indicated when she appeared at Fatima to these 3 children. I don't know. Actually, I just feel that the presence of Mary is where we are. I just feel that the angels of heaven are where we are. I'm so thankful that he came to talk to us, to remind us of the position we have to bring about world peace. And it's possible, as I hear from his word, it's possible. If all of us join together, there is going to be peace.
Women are indeed a major tool towards nation building and peace restoration. If these mothers of the church take seriously what was said to them, our society, nation, and world at large will be a better place for all to commune in love and peace at all times.
Let's now talk education. Ahead of the 2024-2025 academic year, the Education Secretariat of the Diocese of Buea, today Friday, July 26th, convened a meeting with newly appointed and incumbent head teachers across 3 deaneries of the diocese. The main agenda was centered on improving student enrollment at all schools within the diocese. Hilarion Clinton reports.
The orientation meetings held at 3 locations witnessed good attendance by the head teachers. Those of Limbe Deanery made at Catholic Nursery and Primary School Gardens, while those of Tiko Deanery gathered at Ripa Call in Motengene, and those of Buea Deanery conferred at the Education Secretariat. The central focus of these gatherings was to address and strategize on increasing the enrollment of pupils across nursery and primary schools within the diocese. The Education Secretary, Reverend Father Vincent Miswe, emphasized the imperative need for head teachers to employ all available measures to attract and retain pupils. The superintendents of these deaneries expressed confidence in meeting this objective of improving enrollment. Mr. Ken Aloysius is the superintendent of Limbe Deanery.
We have all resolved that we are going to put a number of measures in place to make sure that the enrollment of the district for 2024-2025 academic year is really boosted. For example, we are going to put in place, we have informed all the teachers to go to their various meeting houses, to their small Christian communities, and to all their social groups that they belong in order to canvass for enrollment, talk to the parents so that they can send their children to our primary and nursery schools. Yeah, we have also resolved that father will get to talk to the manager. The managers too will have to talk a lot in church with the head teacher, so that Christians, because discover that most of our Christians, their children are not attending our schools, so they can now start sending their children and trust Catholic education by sending their children to Catholic schools.
Some newly appointed head teachers noted the necessity of this meeting. Madame Zoe Judith, head teacher of Catholic Nursery and Primary School Bututu, and Madame Raphael Tongwa, head teacher of Catholic Nursery and Primary School Mount Carmel Munya, are both newly appointed head teachers.
It will be very, very interesting because we will be drilled on how we get to take off and how we get to do for someone will campaign begin them in order to increase the enrollment of our schools. We need to go out there, talk with the parents, make them understand say Catholic school not the only give out only knowledge. It give knowledge, it give skills, it give attitudes and value where begin them need them for function well in our society. So it was so wonderful, and I'll be very, very happy because already from the meeting now I am ready to take up and to do the job perfectly.
It was really interesting, especially for me as I'm newly appointed. So I really gathered much. So it helps me how I'm going to handle the school down there.
It should be noted that to reduce overstaffing within the education family in the Diocese of Buea, nursery and primary schools will be headed by a single head teacher who will double as the bursar.
Let's now talk health. The cardiac consultation team from Shisong Hospital in Kumbo has commenced with cardiovascular screening program today at Mount Mary Hospital in Buea. The program, which is aimed at affording everyone a heart screening opportunity, also creates an open awareness to patients with cardiac disorders, necessary measures on how to cope with and manage their various cardiac health conditions. Reverend Father Matunje brings to us the details of this story.
Health is wealth. A healthy mind in a healthy body remains quintessential to everybody. The Cardiac Outreach Consultation Program from Shisong in the Diocese of Kumbo, Northwest region of Cameroon, opens up consultation concerning heart-related disorders today at Mount Mary Hospital in the Diocese of Buea. The team of experts are providing heart screening, consultations, and medical advice concerning cardiovascular disorders faced by many individuals, such as cardiac palpitations, irregular blood flow, with signs and conditions such as hypertension, excessive difficulties in breathing, and swollen body parts, such as swollen legs, and many others. The two-day screening program continues tomorrow, Saturday the 27th of July 2024. The health team is constituted of 7 health specialists with cardiologists and physionographers, pharmacists and nurses under the direction of Sister Teresia Filai in charge of the cardiac outreach team from Shisong in Kumbo Diocese. The head of this team, Sister Teresia Filai, advises all to make use of such providential programs as she lays emphasis on the relevance of this program to the society as a whole.
We normally come out once in every 3 months to consult all those who are suffering from cardiovascular diseases. And this is a program that has run for some time now, and we are very grateful for the population of Buea. Many of them respect this, and they are getting better. This program is going to run for 2 days, beginning today and tomorrow. And we greatly encourage those who are still back at home to come and visit us. With us, the doctor will be able to reach out to their various needs as far as their diseases are concerned.
The cardiac specialist, together with the entire team present, started with general orientation before individual consultations. The team, which is aimed at providing the required health care needed by every stable body, has as top priority to ensure that individuals take the challenge to do cardiovascular screening, and to those affected already in one way or another, proper measures be taken to follow up with the necessary medical attention. For as it is said, prevention is better than cure, and a stitch in time saves 9.
something else. Students and youth leaders from the University of Buea, University Obiaka University Institute, and Catholic University Institute of Buea gathered for a 2-day conference aimed at combating hate speech through interfaith dialogue. The event, organized by Defy Hate Now in collaboration with Civic Watch, focused on identifying and addressing stereotypes related to interfaith communication. Nadesh Nenchungme was there at the close of the 2-day workshop and now tells us more.
During the 2-day workshop organized by Defy Hate Now through Civic Watch, participants from various cultural and religious backgrounds conveyed to explore strategies for mitigating hate speech through interfaith dialogue. This event was designed to foster understanding and cooperation amongst peoples in diverse communities. The project lead for this initiative, Dr. Wong Hans, elaborated on the workshop's objectives, emphasizing the importance of dialogue in addressing and reducing tensions within communities.
We deem it necessary how to prevent certain forms of violence like what happened in the Central African Republic and many other African countries. It is of great importance on how to prevent political elites because they tend to use their political influence or their political positions, or ethnic entrepreneurs who tend to use their positions and their resources to fuel violence in order to acquire resources which are often political at the detriment of the population.
Operating under the theme Mitigating Hate Speech Through Interfaith Dialogue, the Conflict Research and Activity Implementation Coordinator, Dr. Kenan Derrick, highlighted how such dialogues can build stronger communities and promote mutual understanding, tolerance and acceptance among Cameroonians.
There is no religion or practice or background that preaches hate. We most often have religious backgrounds preaching love. So it is as a result of this strength that we wanted to bring together and see how we can use interfaith dialogue as a tool to build communities, to build societies, to make Cameroonians and why not the world at large get to understand that we have everything to gain.
Throughout the workshop, facilitators shared acquired knowledge on peace-building practices and the role of interfaith dialogue in multicultural settings. This active engagement and enthusiasm was conspicuous.
These are the Muslims we have in the country, these are the Christians, and this is the interest we have in living together. So that when they leave from this workshop, they can now communicate with others, try to learn about other cultures, because hate speech is the product of ignorance.
My appreciation or my regards towards them is very positive. They ask questions and they are coming from different academic backgrounds. Some from law, some from political science, from public administration, and some from the medical corps and others from transport.
At the end of the workshop, some attendees expressed their satisfaction with the experience and shared the lesson learned.
I believe that if I go back to my community now, having issues with other people from different denominations like Christians, I believe we'll better handle them through effective communication and better ways in which we can avoid having conflict in our community.
Actually giving me the opportunity to meet my fellow Muslim brothers and sisters and actually have a talk with them to really try to understand them, understand their beliefs, understand their standpoints.
The first thing I learned is that we as creatures of humanity or creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have some commonalities and we also have our specificities of our religions. The specificities of our religion, we maintain them. The others should know them, that this is specific to us, to each other, and the commonalities that we have, we work together. Development, peace building.
As they return to their communities, they are encouraged to act as ambassadors for mitigating hate speech, particularly in contexts linked to identity, to help effect positive change for the betterment of Cameroon.
Moving on, the roofing of the boys' dormitory at St. Pius III Commercial and Technical College, Middle Farms Limbe, has been completed. This project marks an important step towards enhancing students' accommodation in that school. The Bishop of Buea, His Lordship Michael Bibi, and His Grace Andrew Kia of the Archdiocese of Bamenda paid a visit to the school recently. Hilarion Clinton once again.
The completion of the dormitory's roofing was celebrated with a thorough inspection conducted by His Grace Andrew Kea, the Archbishop of Bamenda Archdiocese, alongside the local ordinary of Buea. Their visit was to evaluate the construction work at the site, during which they provided recommendations to further refine aspects of the project. The addition of the dormitory is expected to alleviate existing accommodation challenges, permitting students to reside comfortably on campus and thereby enhancing their overall educational experience. The dormitory is divided into 4 cells. Speaking with the principal, she explained that each of these cells within the dormitory is expected to house more than 60 students.
Behind me is a very giant structure, and that is the new boys' dormitory. The capacity of this building is 240 students. We have 4 dormitories, and each dormitory can take 60 students. So for the 4 cells, we have the capacity to take 240 new students.
According to the principal, Reverend Sister Vera Otia, with the roofing completed, attention now turns to the final phases of interior finishing and furnishing, which includes plastering, fitting the doors and windows.
At this level, we have just finished with the roof. Now the next thing is we are going to do the plastering and then the cutting of the floor. And we do the installation, electrification, plumbing work, and the final finishing touches.
Sister Vera Otia further reassured stakeholders that these tasks are slated for completion in the weeks ahead. She stated that the building is expected to be fully ready for use before the end of August.
In the next 3 weeks, the dormitory will be ready for use. So before the end of August, the dormitory will be ready for use to receive the new students.
St. Pius X Commercial and Technical College, Middle Farms, created by His Lordship Michael Bibi, is a commercial and technical college operating from Form 1 to Form 4. It runs both boarding and day facilities.
Now let's talk about something else. The Environment and Rural Development Foundation, ERUDEV, has taken stock of its activities for the past 25 years while setting a roadmap for the next 25 years. This was during a press conference in Buea, during which the foundation disclosed the activities towards the upcoming Silver Jubilee. Aloysius Leke was part of today's press conference. He now outlines these activities in the next report.
The Environment and Rural Development Foundation, ERUDEV, is gearing up activities to celebrate its Silver Jubilee in saving the rainforests, conserving species, and impacting lives of communities across the country. The foundation that opened its doors in the year 1999 have for the past years gained its identity through the intervention in so many communities in key areas, all centered towards conservation of the environment and impacting the lives of those in the communities. Their works and achievements are well known in marginalized enclaves such as the islands in Tiko and Limbe, the Libialem Highlands, Mount Bambutus, and the east region of the country, where they have impacted the communities in the enclaved areas with alternative source of living in order to protect the mangroves, gorillas, chimpanzees, and elephants, as well as other red-list species, have been preserved. The CEO of ERUDEV, in a press conference gathering press men and women, says at 25, ERUDEV is mature enough to spread its good works across Africa and the world.
Yes, in 25 years, we want the public to know exactly what our role is. Saving nature, species, and helping people to make better lives. A lot of people feel that conservation organizations are not there to help the adjacent communities. So our job is first of all to say we are there to help government to implement government policy at the forestry level, at the development level, and at the community level. In 25 years, we want the world to also know what we have been doing. So we need to do capitalization and let the world assess us. So we're going back to where we're coming from to say, have we done a good job? Have we not done a good job? If we're not done a good job, can you not help us to remodel what we have to do to be called a good job for the next 25 years?
The foundation will, from the 2nd to the 7th of December 2024, celebrate its 25th anniversary that will see the institution map out a roadmap for the next 25 years, that is 2050, on the slogan, One Earth, One Shared Future.
In the next 25 years, we want to create a resilient system where funding is available to support the different aspirations of communities and wildlife. We are aware that funding is generally a problem across the board, and communities cannot do their job in terms of conservation if they don't receive decent income. That is one of our major goals we want to achieve. Communities should be able to receive decent income, just as civil servants, such as other elites who are working in other organizations. They receive more or less decent incomes, but communities who are the frontline conservation people do not.
Just like a mature man celebrating 25 years, it has been not all bed of roses, as the CEO says the Anglophone crisis and funding have been their major setbacks.
We have political challenges, we have funding challenges, we have, I think these two drive consider major difficulties that we face. Geostrategies, geopolitics influence our work seriously in Cameroon. Funding also is also influenced by geopolitics. And I think those challenges are bound to be there. And I think what we can do will not be to run away, will be to redefine our models and what we are exactly trying to do in the next 25 years.
The Environment and Rural Development Foundation has in its 2050 agenda improve networking between civil society organizations in Africa, making them to become self-reliant and stop relying so much for funding from foreign donors. They will equally intensify the promotion of the 17 Millennium Development Goals, amongst others.
Onto our foreign page, the first woman Chief Justice has been appointed in South Africa. 60-year-old Mandisa Maya is the first female Chief Justice in SA since the post was created in 1910 when the country was still under British rule. And activists worldwide have demanded action to tackle the global food crisis, carrying empty plates on the streets to symbolize 733 million people around the world who do not have food. Get the details of these and more international stories in the next report. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa named Mandisa Maya, the current Deputy Chief Justice, as the country's new most senior judge. Her term is due to start on September 1, 2024, when she will replace Chief Justice Raymond Zondo as the head of the Apex Constitutional Court. Note that Zondo is retiring. 60-year-old Mandisa Maya previously served as the Judge President of the Supreme Court of Appeal, the second highest court in South Africa, before her promotion to the Constitutional Court. She was the first black woman to be appointed a judge of the Supreme Court of Appeal and the first woman to be appointed Deputy President and then President of that court. South Africa has had all-male Chief Justices since the post was created in 1910 when it was still a British colony. Maya will be the 8th Chief Justice since South Africa became a democracy with the end of the apartheid system of white minority rule in 1994. Elsewhere, activists and chefs around the world participated Thursday, July 25, in a new campaign to highlight the global food crisis. The activists demonstrated in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, where G20 leaders convened for a two-day meeting. The members of different NGOs distributed empty plates served down from a mock-up food truck. The protest came after Brazil committed to partially fund the Global Alliance Against Hunger and Poverty. Brazil said the Global Alliance will be managed by a secretariat located at the Food and Agriculture Organization headquarters in Rome and Brasilia until 2030, adding that it will be formally established during the November summit of the G20 world leaders. And Sudan's Agricultural Minister Abubakar al-Bushra denied there is a famine in the country, challenging UN reports that 755,000 people are facing severe hunger. He also rejected the idea of allowing aid agencies to bypass border restrictions to deliver help. The ongoing conflict between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF has led to a severe hunger crisis. The army has blocked aid from reaching areas controlled by the RSF, where supplies are often stolen by RSF soldiers. Speaking in Port Sudan, al-Bushra argued that 755,000 people are a small fraction of Sudan's 50 million population and cast doubt on the accuracy of the hunger data in RSF-controlled areas. The United Nations Integrated Food Security Phase Classification IPC reported that 14 areas in Sudan are at risk of famine, which can be declared if hunger and malnutrition reach critical levels. It's on that note that we pull the curtains on this edition of Divine Mercy Prime. But before we take leave of you, a reminder of our top stories. Members of the Catholic Women Association CWA, currently in their 10th Congress taking place here in Buea. A Pontifical High Mass to open this Congress was presided at today by His Lordship Michael Bibe. As schools look forward to proper preparations ahead of next academic year, the Catholic Education Secretariat of Buea Diocese continue engaging its staff to ensure good enrollment and performance. Some students of the University of Buea and other private higher institutions in Buea have been trained on identifying stereotypes in interfaith communications and addressing them. This in a workshop by Defy Hate Now and Civic Watch. Plus, in a press conference today, the CEO of the Environment and Rural Development Foundation, ERUDEF, has unveiled the roadmap of the organization as it prepares to celebrate its 25th anniversary. Many thanks for your keen and kind attention. I have been Samailin for our presentation. Thank you for staying with us throughout the week. To take the rendezvous for next week, God willing, we will be here for Divine Mercy Prime. Bye for now.